Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to create a player that can move on the left and right direction of your game view as well as going up or going down. So think of it as a space shooter with a top view and you can move your ship on left and right direction and forward and backward direction. So in order for us to do this, we have to create a script. So on your project setting, go to script and then click create and click on create C# script. So once you do that, name the C# script as player controller. Just apply the standard naming convention so that other people can know what kind of script is this. So for this one, we'll just put player as capital letter P for player and capital letter C for controller. Double click on this one, on this particular script, and you will see you will be inside Visual Studio. So from here, I am going to teach you how to create the script for this. So let's go to class. Not this one. I mean this one. So let's inform people what we're going to do. We're going to set up variables for our horizontal input. So for this one, let's just use public float, then horizontal input. And I for input will be capital, and there is a reddish line there, so we forgot to close it. So just add a semicolon and everything is okay. So once we created the horizontal input on the void update, we should let the computer know what we're going to try to do. So I think we need to get controller inputs. So let's do um, type here get control inputs. So this is very similar to the car controller and the plane controller. So these inputs are actually located in the um, input setting. I think it's in the edit and then player settings and then you will see the input. I don't think I need to explain this because we have discussed this already on the plane and car controller. So basically here, I assume that you already know what this code is all about. So from here, we're going to put horizontal input equals um, input dot get access. So here it's already shown there, get access, and then we'll type horizontal. The horizontal is capital H, okay? And then we close the statement. Horizontal input. So it's a wrong spelling. So now it's correct. So he understand that this is a variable and we're getting the horizontal inputs as well. So for this one, after we had created the horizontal input, I think we'll need to make the player move left and right direction. So in order for us to do that, we'll just use the same code, transform that translate, and T is capital on translate. And then we'll use the vector tree dot right so that the player can move left and right. On vector, it's capital letter V. So from here, we'll multiply that with the horizontal input, um, Input. Okay, I have double input here. Horizontal input times time dot delta time, so it update per frame, and then times speed. And we'll close this one. Now we got another reddish thing here because the computer doesn't know what is this all about. The speed, it's a new variable and we haven't created that variable. So now let's just create this variable. Let's make it as a public float again. Public float and then put speed and then we assign value equals, let's say 5.0 and then put F here to make sure tell that it's a float and then semicolon. So now there's no more red thing here because we had already created the variable for that. So now the character will be able to move left and right on the game, and now we just need for the character to be able to move up and down. So instead of public float horizontal, we'll just change it to vertical input. So public float vertical input. And then here on the get control inputs, we'll copy it again, paste there. So instead of horizontal input, we'll put vertical input and then get and then equals input dot get axis. Then we'll change horizontal to vertical. So double check again that the input is actually capital letter I. So there are several things here that are being capitalized. So we don't get some problems later. So see, I was not able to capitalize the vertical, so it will be not the same on the player settings, so there will be some problems. So better make sure that you typing it correctly. So now let's create the equation for that so that it can go up and down. We'll just copy this one that goes right, and instead of right, we'll just put forward because we want our character to go up and down depending on, yeah, so it's going up and down um, whenever we press the arrow up and down keys. So after this one, did we put a speed value? Okay, one moment. So I think with this code, the player will be able to move left and right and up and down. But if you remember in the car, we have this tilt motion. So every time it moves to the left, it tilts a little bit to the left. And if it moves to the right, if you click the right arrow key, it tilts a little bit, like something like rotating a little bit. So let's just add that l- line. It's not so difficult. So just create a public float. And then I think we called it rotation speed. And then let's assign some value like 5.0 F and then close this one. So now we'll just create the equation for that one. So I think we'll use transform the translate again. So let's just copy this. So it will be transform that translate and then times right. So every time we click right, it moves and tilt a little bit to the right. And then we have to multiply it with rotation speed times time that delta time horizontal input times vertical input. Okay, let's see. let's just time little time times horizontal input times vertical input. So now it will tilt when we press on the right arrow key, it will tilt a little bit. When s- when we move to the right. Now, if we move to the left, we want that also to happen. So we'll just have to put there left instead. So every time I move to the left, it tilts. If I move to the right, I tilt a little bit. So I think this is it. So let's go ahead and apply if this works. So don't forget to save. And once we are back in Unity, make sure that this player controller script is attached to the player. Otherwise, you can click on player, and on the inspector, you can add this script on the components. So let's just make sure it's added. hmm Actually, I have one there already, so let's just delete this. Okay, control save, and now let's see the game. So if I move, it's not updating yet. Let's see, if I move the arrow keys up, it should go up. But now my game is just updating. No, it doesn't move up. There's a problem. So if it moves to the left, it rotates a little bit, and then we'll try to fix this.